Let's keep pushing forward. Like I said, your man Ike Infamous made a phone call. Like I said, I don't know if everything happened the way it's supposed to. We might have some communication issues, but if special guest, if you could hear us, like I said, you're not on screen just yet, but as soon as you turn that camera on, you will be. Let me know if you can hear me sending this message out to you. If not, it's all good. We can do this another day.
No,
but,
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Also, you got your camera going?
I'm trying to figure out this camera shit.
Listen, for those that don't know, listen. That ghost in the room that you're hearing is a very special voice, very special guest we got this evening. Pardon me. He got me stuck.
Hey,
there you go. Oh, snap.
Wait,
I got to make sure. Hold on one second. I want to get this correct introduction. I want to make sure you show up on the screen because, like I said, I've been having issues with the camera. Pardon me, sir. But I want to make sure we get this introduction. Yeah, there you go. I want to get this introduction going proper. Like, let's talk about it real quick. One of the people that was actually featured on one of the albums that we are discussing tonight put down a great verse. A verse that, like I said, we're going to speak on and play in a second. Shout out to my man Ike Infamous for making this happen. We have a very special guest in the room. Eats, beats, and rhymes. Make some noise for the one and only Illa G. Make some noise, Illa G. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to my man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, big up,
Ike,
bro.
I want to thank you again, Ike, for making this happen. Apparently, Ike and Illa G have a long history that goes back a long way. Like I said, they're friends, so he made the phone call. He made it happen last minute, no less. I appreciate it nonetheless. Illa, thank you for joining us. Man, where do we begin? Like, a quick question I think we've always wondered, it was like, who's this guy? Because again, it was so Queens. It was like, we don't know this guy. And then, we developed and saw your relationship develop more with P along the way. How did you guys meet How did you meet Mobb Deep or P or Havoc? Who'd you meet first?
Well, we met in high school, and I met Prodigy because I was going to rob him.
So you were the one they always talk about. He's like, they was going to rob. So were you cool with Havoc, and you guys were the ones that were going to rob him?
No, Havoc.
Okay, so there's nothing to do with Havoc.
No, they didn't even meet each other yet. This was before.
Got it. That's crazy. That's awesome. I love that. So the relationship developed from there. So like I guess you stayed in touch, and then eventually, I mean, you developed your own career as it's been going. Like I said, we watched you on YouTube a lot. Shout out to my man DJ YZ. He put us on to your show on YouTube. Like I said, pardon me, I forget the name of it. It escapes me right now.
New York Minute.
New York, yo, quite the series. If you don't know, make sure you check it out. Like
Ella is one of the most hilarious motherfuckers you can be around, bro. Like that's the shit that I love about him. He's such a goon, but when you really get a chance to know him, you're like, yo, he is fucking hilarious, man.
I am not a goon. I am love and hugs. That is it. I don't know about this goon stuff.
I love the goon music. I love that.
Yeah. Listen, Illa G, quick question. Like I said, so tonight you caught us in the middle of a battle. We got this little series here. We got Who Do You Got? Sometimes we take two of your favorite artists, two of your favorite crews, two of your favorite albums. For example, tonight we're taking The Infamous versus Hell on Earth. We found Mobb to be so dope. It was like that conversation's been going on for years, barbershop style of like, yo, Hell on Earth is it's just a little bit of a step higher, some people say, than people say The Infamous, so it's like, what's that conversation like? So we decided to talk about that tonight, Hell on Earth versus The Infamous. What was your involvement, obviously, on Hell on Earth? We know you're on the song, but like what? And obviously we're talking about Can't Get Enough of It. And you went by General G back then, right?
No, it was always Illa G. I went to jail. I got locked up after I did my verse. I got locked up the next day, and the album came out a day after my birthday, November 19th, and they forgot to change it. Pete forgot to tell him my name was Illa G because I said it in the song. Illa's the name, two guns that look the same.
Right.
It was always Illa G, but since they didn't know what it was, all right, to make it clearer, I was supposed to be on The Infamous too.
Talk about it. So
everything was changing. When everything was changing from tape to CD, they had a song called Up North Trip, and I was on Up North Trip. But in Up North Trip, I said General G, ready for war. So they just remember, Maddie and them just remembered General G.
General G.
So then once again, I got locked up. So that's when they changed. They took me off The Infamous. I don't really count. It was like 3 little punk ass 3 months, but then came back, made Hell on Earth, and got locked up again.
Yeah, man. Damn. Listen, we like I said, we've been playing both albums all night. Like I said, we played a lot of songs already. We are currently at a round number 4. If you want to hang out with us for this next round real quick?
Sure, let's do it.
Before
Round
we jump into that, I gotta recognize Scan in the room asked. He said we got to talk about Hold You Down. We could talk about that later, or we could talk about it now.
No, let's do it. Let's do it now. Let's do it for sure.
I mean, what was it like recording that song, man? It's such a banger. It's like iconic. And then just the verse you laid on there as well. Just like, what was it like were y'all in the studio? Like, what? Talk me through that.
Actually, Al used to live in Manhattan, and P called me, was like, yo, come through, so on and so forth. Sometimes he used to just call me to hang out. And so I went to Al crib, and they was working on Hold You Down, and I listened to him, was like, let me rhyme on it. And they were just like, all right. And the original version was for a DVD, Infamous Allegiance. We didn't think it was going to go that far. And then after we did it, to my knowledge, Al brother Neil was like, you know what, we can push this further than what it's supposed to be. So, they chopped it down and got Nina Sky, because it was no Nina Sky on it at first. So they chopped it up with Nina Sky on it, and it just slowly took off.
That record had a whole life here in New York City. I mean, he did around the world too, but like you know what I'm talking about. You were here in New York. That joint. That joint.
The crazy thing is, DJs shitted on me on that.
What?
What do you mean?
It was like Al had a book of when you send out the feel of the record, and all the DJs except 2 DJs was like, "Who's the other guy? Y'all don't need him."
That's just they don't know.
That's straight bullshit. And what's so crazy is for me to hear, because I asked Illa this question one of the first times that I had a chance to meet him way back at Street when he came through the interview at Street FM, and like to hear how nonchalant this record came through and how iconic and big. And for me, like his verse is not as ill as the one on the Hell on Earth. I can't think of it right now. But it's such a dope and iconic verse, and it's such a dope and iconic record, and with the video and everything like that. And it's like, that shit just came together so nonchalantly, man. Like, that shit is so wild, bro.
Yeah, it was, let me tell you, I was like, word, like Al and them really fought. It was like, nah, we're not taking them off. And then when we performed it, that's when I got to see. Because it was just like, especially Chicks. And that would really fuck me up. Chicks was like, oh, we love your part. And I was like, did you hear what the fuck I said? I was like, I love it.
What you mean? This right here, you mean?
Recognize that this game can be hard. Long as you roll with me, we are. Here by your side, hold me down, baby.
For all my niggas I war for, blow the 444. You know I get, you know it. Even if we trap standing back to back, Al. No doubt. No matter if you're wrong or right, you're still right. For you, I lay a nigga. I don't care if it's the president, I cock my shit, man. For all y'all bitches in the club, if you hop in my truck, first thing you're gonna go. And when we get to the telly, I'ma bend you over and
hey yo, Mobb thugs, drops and trucks. We got enough paper to front. See our guns and ducks. Somebody finna get wigged, homie. I hope your outfitter.
Woo, man.
Yeah.
What a time. What a time.
See?
Yeah, if people only really knew, I was just really talking to my friends in the street, because that's just how we felt.
And that's why they kicked Lovely.
Like,
That's why they kicked Lovely.
who you was, where you was. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's the president. You come over here, I'm shooting the shit out of anybody.
and let me just say that was one of the, and I'll put it out there now, man. I was so geeked out when I first met Illa and had a chance to interview him on Street, because like I said, I was such a fan of his lyrically. And for how big that record got, and for how he said he would shoot the president, I'm like, yo, ain't you worried? And he looked at me like, man, he's like, man, whatever with you, man. I'll never forget that shit.
Not the president. Different time. Different climate, different president.